Good afternoon all. Today we can see the implementation of methods. So in that Java we can see there will be different types of methods in Java are presented. So using the different types of programming. So first of all we can see the Java class. So that Java class is mainly one of the main class. In that class, that entity which binds all data members and data functions in together way. Means what? In that Java class, that class is mainly host that class members means that entity and their attributes also. So all are mainly defined in that class. So class is a basic building block of object-oriented language. In that object-oriented language, means it is mainly used for the specific template to describe the data and their behavior also. So that behavior is mainly associated with instances, that instances of a specific class or a in that class we are mainly performing that objects or their attributes. So that is the class also. In that class is a user defined, means it is mainly the blueprint or a prototype. From there means that objects are mainly created. So it is mainly used to represent the set of properties or methods also. So in that methods or properties are mainly common objects, means one type of common object are mainly presented there. So in general, that class is so that class is mainly used to declaration and include some components at a specific order or at a specific manner. So first it's modifier. That modifier is mainly used. That modifier is mainly used to define that class. So that class can be public or it should be default access also. So in that, all that things are presented. Second will be class name. That class name should be in a specific way. So the beginning letter of that class name is mainly capitalized. For example, we write a class name student, so that in that name of student S will be capital. Third one is superclass. Superclass means the name of, so in that the name of classes means that parent class. That parent class is mainly the superclass of class. If any preceded means any keyword is mainly extended that class. So that class can be only extended by subclass. Means one parent to another parent. That class is called superclass. Fourth one is interface. So in that interfaces, a common separated list means that interfaces is mainly implemented by the class if any preceding by keywords, that is implement. So that class is mainly implement more than one interface. So last part means that fifth one is body. In that body means the class body is mainly surrounded by brackets. For that curly braces also. For example, we can see here the syntax of writing class. Keyword use class and class name. So in that example, we can see that our class name means the initial letter of that class name is mainly starting at a capitalized way. After declaring that class name, we can declare the variable declaration in that main function. Means here we can declare variable integer I. So it is mainly the variable declaration here. After that, there will be writing a specific function. So that function is public static void main string args means arguments. That arguments is mainly passes through that string. So it is a mainly the main function of declaration. After that, we can declare here a logic comes here. Means here we can write a specific logic. So in that we here is mainly write as integer j, means that here will be second variable is mainly declared here. After declaring that variable in that, after that there will be printing, means system.out.println. It is mainly printing the hello world welcome to Java. So we can see after executing that program, there will be output will be what comes. Output will become hello world Java welcome to Java. Means whenever we can write in that system.out.println, that message will be printed. So that will be our program output. After that, we can see the specific methods and constructors in Java. So in that Java method, so all in Java means the method is a collection of statements. Means collection of statements means what? In that there will be performing some a specific task or a operations also, and it is mainly return the result to caller. Means a method can perform some specific task without returning anything. Means that methods allows us to reuse the code without rotational code. Means in that Java, every method will be or must be a part of some classes, which is different from languages. That languages, just like take an example of our C language, C, C++, or Python also. So that methods are mainly the time savers. Means all are mainly helps to reuse the code without retyping of code. Means here we can see there will be different types of methods are presented. There will so by using that retyping of methods, means here we can say our coding time will be saved here. Next will be method declaration. In that method declaration means there will be different types of modifiers are presented. Means there will be defined the access type of method. So that is from where it can be accessed in our applications. So all are mainly called as a method declaration. There will be four types of access specifier. First will be public, then protected, then private and default. So public. So that public type is where used. That public type is mainly used to access in our all classes in our application. Next one is protected. So that protected class is mainly accessible within the class, in which means it is defined as in the subclasses or any subclass also. Private method is only used, means it is only accessible within the class. Means in so it is mainly used to define some our specific only specific task default. So the default class or it is mainly defined without using any modifier or as well as it is also called as a declared. Means what in there means that default type is mainly used to access within the same class and packages within its class and define also. So next we can see here all are the different types of method name, what is an actual return type, what type of modifier is used, and body method. First of all, we can see that line public integer max in that bracket will be declared two variables, that is two arguments also. In that format, we can see here syntax, class name, variable declaration, main function, and last one is output. So in that, public integer max, public is our modifier. We can see here modifier. Sorry, after that we can see that slide. Huh? Sorry. There will be return type. Return type means what? The data of value is returned by the method, or void means it is does not do not return any kind of value. Next one is method name. So the rules of field names means it is mainly applied to method names as well as means here there will be the conventions is a little is an a little ampersand. Next we can parameter list. So that parameter list means comma is separated by that list. So that input parameter are defined means it is mainly preside within the data type means within the enclosed parentheses. If there will be no parameters means no arguments we can pass it, then it is mainly empty, so it is also called as an empty parenthesis. Next will be exception list. In that exception list, so in that exception you can accept by the methods can throw means you can specify the exceptions. So on that exception list, we can see it is mainly default value exception, or there will be zero value exception or anything else. Next, we can see the method body. In that method body is mainly enclosed between the brackets. So that code means what we need to be executed means what is mainly used, mainly perform in our inside operation. After that, we can see the diagram. So in that diagram, there will be mainly declare one function. So that function is mainly declared as a public way. So that public is mainly the modifier. Integer is return type and method name is max. So in that name, we can see here there will be maximum value is mainly returned here. As per method name, we can see that. After that, there will be parameter list. So that parameter list is mainly separated by the comma. That parameter will be in integer format. So there will be two parameters are presented here, integer x and integer y. After that, in that body, there will be some specific method or performing actions are presented here. There will be if loop is used here. If x is greater than y, then return x, else there will be return y. In that, there will be compare the values between two variables, that is x and y. So that method signatures means it is mainly consists the method name as well as parameters list also. So in that the number of parameters means the type of parameters means in order of that specific parameters. So in there the return type and exception are not considered as a part of it. Means the return type or exception type. Exception is mainly rarely we can use method signature of about function means max integer x and integer y. So it is a calling method. Calling method means what? That method is needs to be called as a specific functionary or a method. Um, there can be three situations means we can method is called. So method will be returns the code invoked when first is if it is completed in that statement, means in the specific method also. Next will be it reaches a return statement also. Next we can see throughs and exceptions also. So next we can see what is a constructor. Constructor means what actually in that Java. Constructor is a block of code which is mainly similar to as a method. So it is mainly called when instance of class. Means we can call when the instance of that class is mainly implemented at the time of calling a specific constructor also. So in there, we can see the memory of object is mainly allocated in that specific memory. Here we can see it is a special type of method, means in which use a initialize of the objects also. So in there, every time of object is mainly created using a new keyword. So that new keyword means at least one constructor is called here. So it is called a default constructor. So that default constructor means no constructor can be available and then on this specific class. In such a case, the Java compiler is mainly provides a default constructor as a default way. There will be some specific rules for a creating Java constructor also. So in that, there will be three rules are presented here to defining a specific constructor. First of all, we can see the constructor name can be same as the class name because as per the same of class name, that constructor is mainly invoked at that time. After calling that method or that class, that constructor is mainly invoked, invoked. Second one is the constructor must be have no implicit return type. And third one is the Java constructor cannot be abstract, static, final, and synchronized way also. So there will be Java constructors. So in that Java constructor, there will be two types of constructors are presented in that Java. First, we can see the default constructor. So in the default constructor, that name is specified. Default way means there will be no arguments are presented in that constructor. Because before we can see here in a few minutes. Default class. In the default class, we cannot be declare any kind of method or any kind of argument we cannot be passed as same as the default custom constructor is one. Second one is parameterized constructor. In that parameterized constructor, there will be number of parameters, means two or more parameters are passing there. So that parameterized constructor and default constructor, their name will be same as per their class name. So first of all, we can see the no argument constructor, or it is also called as a default constructor also. So in that default constructor or no argument constructor means a constructor that has no parameter, which is known as default constructor. If any don't define a constructor in a class, then that compiler creates a default constructor, means there will be no or with the no arguments for that class. And if we can write a constructor with arguments or no arguments, then that compiler it does not created, means only there will be a default constructor. So that default constructor is mainly provides the default values of that object, just like 0 and null. It is that values means that return type of value is mainly depending on that type also. So that constructor is called as default constructor when it does not have any kind of parameters. So their syntax will be that. In that we can write a class name just like hello Java and opening and closing bracket. After there will be curly bracket. So what is the purpose of that default constructor or a no argument constructor? So that constructor means no argument constructor or default constructor is used to provide the default value to that object just like 0, null and etc. So all that values are mainly dependent upon the specific type. So in so you can see here Java parameterized constructor. So in that parameterized, so in that Java parameterized constructor, the constructor which is specified the number of parameters, it is called as a parameterized constructor. So it is used means we want to initialize the field of this class with our own values as well as use the parameterized constructor. So what is the main purpose of that parameterized constructor? So that constructor is mainly used to provide the different types of values means to the specific discrete objects. Means however we can provide the same value also. So in that example, we can see here class constructor demo. In that there will be initialized the two variables integer a and string s. After there will be default constructor is passes here. Constructor demo as per class name that constructor name is given. What is why it is default constructor? Because no argument is class passes in that block. After there will be printing some message. You are in default constructor. After that, there will be two values are mainly initialized. A is mainly the integer, so that A is put detail and A is string, so it is a C com. After that, there will be another constructor is declared. That constructor is mainly the parameterized constructor. Because in that parameterized constructor, there will be arguments are passed here. That arguments are integer a and string s. After declaring that parameterized constructor, there will be some specific message are passing here. That message will be you are in parameterized constructor and this dot a equals to a and this dot s will be s. After that will display means that function is mainly used to printing the values of in that function. That function will be now a will be printing that s value and value of x will be printing that s, and there will be main method is writing there. So in that programs output will be first will be print hello world because in that main function is mainly printing the hello world, and there will be objects are created here for that constructor. That constructor demo c. C is the object. New constructor demo. After there will be display that system you are in that default constructor. That value will be null. After that, there will be calling the display function. So in that function, there will be printing a and s value. So we can see hello world. You are in default constructor and default constructor values are null. You are in function now. After that, there will be printing a and s value and parameterized constructor also presented. parameters constructors values means that their output will be also printed here. So next will be see the copy constructor. So in that copy constructor, it is in there will be a member function, means in there which is mainly initializes an object using the another object of the same class. Means the copy of constructor has the following summary function prototype. So it is a general or a specific function prototype. Next, we can see the method overloading. So in that method overloading means that main feature or the feature is mainly allows to class have a more than one method having the same number. That's why it is calling as a method overloading. So in that method overloading, there will be same name of method are presented here, but their argument list are different. Means similar to as constructor overloading in the Java. It is mainly allows to class. There will be more than one constructor having the different argument list. There will be some advantages are available. So in that method overloading, it is mainly increases the readability of the program. There will be different ways to overload the method. First will be changing the number of arguments and second will be changing the data type. So by using that two methods or two ways, we can be overload our method in the Java. First will be we can see method overloading, changing the number of arguments. So that example we can see. So in that program we can see there will be one class is declared here. That class name is add operations. In that add operation there will be two functions or two operations. Means public integer add integer A and integer B. Two variables means two arguments are passed here. But in after that there will be passes the three arguments here. Integer A, B and C means number changing the number of arguments. So there will be creating two methods. First will be add, it perform the addition of two numbers and second and will be perform three numbers of addition. Next will be changing the data type of arguments. Means same type means number of arguments are same but their data type will be different. So in that example we can see here will be the addition of two numbers are presented here. That variables are mainly in integer format. And second, there will be double X. There will be two arguments are presented, but their data type will be in float. So just like in that, constructor can also be overloaded. Means it allows to having more than one constructor inside the one class. Means within the different types of signature. That constructor overloading can means that concept of having more than one constructor with the different parameter list. So in such a way that each constructor is performs the different types of tasks with the different in constructors. That parameterized can be the number of parameters, data type of parameters, order of parameters. So there will be some important points are presented here, mainly the overloading the constructor. First one is that constructor overloading is similar to the method overloading in Java. Second will be you can all overloaded constructor by using by this keyword in Java. Third one is overloaded constructor can be called from another constructor only. And after that, make sure add number of arguments in the default constructor because uh, we can compile our programming means that compiler will not be add if you have added any constructor in Java. Next we can see if an overloaded constructor called means it must be a first statement of constructor in Java. So it is an a best practice have a primary constructor and there will be a overloaded constructor calls that means this is a way in our initialization of code will be centralized means it is easier to test and maintain also. Next we can see the method overriding. So method overriding means it is and mainly the object oriented programming language. In that overriding is mainly the feature means it is allow the subclasses or child classes to provide a specific implementation of their specific method means that method is already provided one of its superclass or parent classes also. When the method in that subclass has a same name and same parameterized or their signature and their return type of method of that superclass, then that method of subclass means it is mainly saved as an override of method in the super classes. In that method overriding, it is only way means runtime polymorphism. It is mainly achieved in Java. So the version of method it is mainly executed means it is mainly determining by the object that is used to invoke it. Means if an object of parent class is used to invoke the method, then the version of parameter class will be executed. But in there, that object of subclass is mainly used to invoke the specific method. Means that version of child class will be executed here. In other word, we can say that the type of object is being referred. Means there will be or not the type of reference variable that determines which version of any overridden method will be executed. So it is mainly the example or a syntax of that method overriding. Class overriding demo. After that, there will be declare void a method as a public way. In that, there will be printing superclass method. After that, there will be another public void, a method is declared here, and it is in there will be printing a subclass method. That message is printed here. Main function is mainly used to string arguments. Means here will be passes the string arguments. In that, there will be overriding demo test T. That T object is created here and there will be new overriding demo test p dot image is calling. So there will be printing a subclass method. So there will be such a different types of rules are presented for the method overriding. First will be overriding and access modifier. Overriding and access modifiers means what? Uh, there will be allow a more but not a less means access the overriding method. For example, protected instances method in the superclass can be made public but not a privately means in the subclass during so we will generate the compile time error also. Next will be final method cannot be overridden because there will be don't want the method to be overridden because we can declare it in a final way. Third one is public static method cannot be overridden. Means that method overriding versus method hiding. Hiding and riding means what? When we define a static method with a same signature as a static method with a base class. It is known as a method hiding. Private method cannot be overridden because that private method cannot be overridden. They're bonded during the compile time. They, therefore, we want to even override a private method in subclasses. Um, After that, we can see the overriding method must have a same return type, means their subtype are same. So that variable is called, or it is also known as covariant return type, invoking overridden method from subclasses. We can call a parent class method in overriding method using the super keyword. Overriding and constructor. So we cannot be override constructor as a parent and child class. So we can never have a constructor within the same name. Means that constructor name is an always same as our class name. That's why overriding and exception handling. In there will be two rules are noted here for that overriding the method which is mainly related to that exception handling. First will be if that superclass overridden means that method is does not throw any exceptions. So that subclass is mainly overriding the method. So we can only choose the unchecked exception. So that throwing checked exceptions will be lead to compile time error. Second will be if any superclass is mainly overridden method does not throw an exception because that subclass with overriding method can only throw the same means there will be subclass exceptions are presented here means there will be means in there will be parent exception in that exception hierarchy will be lead to that a specific compile time error. Also there will be no issue of subclasses. Means that overridden method is not throwing off any exception. Next one is overriding an abstract method. So that abstract method is an interface or a abstract class where meant to be overridden. In derived concrete classes. Otherwise, a compile time error will be thrown here. So that overriding and synchronize method. So at the presence of synchronize of a shift modifier with the method have a no effect on the rules of overriding. It is so that is mainly the possible that a synchronized method can override a non-synchronized one and device one or another device as a vice versa. Next we can see the final keyword in the Java. So that final keyword in Java it is mainly used to restrict the user. That final keyword is mainly used in many constraints. That final can be variable, method or class also. So that the final keyword can be applied with the variable. So that final variable that have a no value, it is called as a blank final variable or a uninitialized final variable. It can be mainly initialized by a constructor only. So that blank final variable can be a static also, or which will be initialized with the static block only. We have detailed learning in that. After that, so there will be example of final variable. So in that there will be C. There will be class of bike speed. So in that bike speed, will be declare some variable. That variable is final integer speed limit. Speed limit is a variable name. That variable is mainly declared as an integer way. In that integer way, that variable is mainly declared as a final. So in that, it is a final integer speed limit. It is a example of final variable. After that, we can see the final method. So, as a method name to give, declare as a final way. There will be also declare a class by. In that declaration of class, we'll be writing such a method. That method will be void. In that final void run method is printing as running. After that, that class Honda. Honda is a bike company. So that Honda is mainly extend the bike class. So void run running safely with 100 kilometers per hour. So that public static void main is presented here. There will be Honda's object is presented here and new Honda and Honda dot run function or method is running here. There will be compile time error is presented. Java final class. So we can make class as a final. We cannot be extend it. So in that example, we can see that class is declared as a final way. So that final is an mainly the keyword final class by class Honda one extends that by void run same as an before example. There will be also the compile time error is presented. Next, we can see the static keyword. In the static keyword, it, in Java, it is mainly used for a memory management because it is used in only the static way. It is used in that variables, methods, blocks, and nested classes also. So it so that keyword is mainly used to share some variables or methods of a given class. So this is used for the content variable or a method that is same for every instance of class. So the main method of class is generally labeled as a static way. First of all, we can see the static variable. Any variable can be declared as a static way is known as a static variable. So that static variable is used to fulfill the common requirement. For example, the company name of employees or college name of student. Name of college is common for all students. So static variable is mainly allocates the memory only once in a class area at the time of class loading. There will be some advantages. What is the main advantage of that static variable is that the using of static variable, we can make our program memory efficient. So it is a mainly saves the memory. Why it is used? Whenever it is used the static variable. Suppose we want to store the record of employees of any XYZ company. In case of employees ID, so the employee ID is an mainly the unique. So that unique for all every employee. But that company name is common for that all employees. Just for example, name of college for student. Student names are different, but college name is same for all students. when we can create a static variable as a company name, then only the memory is allocated. Means otherwise it is only allocates a memory space each time of every employee. There will be syntax of that static variable. Public static data type and variable. For example, public static integer a. So that integer a is an variable type, integer is an data type. So that integer a is mainly declared as a static way. So what is an actual difference between the static and final keyword? Static keyword is mainly fixed the memory, means there will be located only once in the program, whereas that final keyword is an always fixed the value, means it makes the variable values constant. There will be methods and also declared as a static way. We can apply static keyword with any method. It is also known as a static method. So that static method is mainly belongs to the class rather than the object of class. It can be invoked without the need for creating an instances of the class. Means or it can be accessed the static data members. Means there will be change of value for it. This is an example. To declare the method as a static way. So next we can see the this keyword. So that this keyword is mainly used for the reference. So this is a reference variable that refers to the current object. Means that keyword in that Java language is mainly represents the current class object. There will be some uses of that this keyword. So it can be used to refer to current class instance variable. So this can be used to invoke a current class constructor also. It can be used to invoke current class method as an implicitly. It can be passed as an argument in the method call. It can be passed as argument in the constructor call also. It is also used to return the current class instances. So why we use that this keyword? The main purpose of using this keyword is to differentiate the formal parameter and data members of the class. Whereas means the formal parameter and data members of that class are mainly similar, means like as a JVM, get ambiguity, means no clarity between some of formal parameters and such a different type of members in that specific class. It is mainly differentiate between the formal parameters and data members in the specific class. So that data members in that class must be preside by the this keyword. Next, we can see the inheritance in that Java. Inheritance in Java means the process is mainly obtaining the data members. Means the data members and methods from one class to another class. It is known as inheritance. So one of the fundamental feature is object-oriented programming. Inheritance of the class which is give the data member and method is known as base or a super, as well as called as a parent class also. Next we can see the class which is taking the data member and method is known as a sub or derived, as well as child class also. First, we can see the parent class. Parent class is known as a base class or a super class. Second, we can see the child class. It is also called a child derived or a subclass also. So the data members in that methods of classes are known as the feature. So the concept of inheritance, it is known as reusability of extended classes or such as subclass or derivations also. Next we can see that why use inheritance. First will be method overriding, means it is mainly used the runtime polymorphism. The main users are enable the polymorphism, and it is mainly able to reuse the code of different classes by putting it in common super class for the code reusability. Why it is code reusability? Because inheritance, it is mainly uses in that inheritance will be used the method overriding as well as means here will be runtime polymorphism. Polymorphism means what? There will be different types of classes and different types of methods are presented here. So there will be the code reusability. It is a main function of that inheritance. There will be different types of inheritance. There will be number of ways of inheriting the features of base class into derived classes. We have mainly the 5 types of inheritance. First will be single inheritance, second is multiple inheritance, then third will hierarchical, multi-level, and last one is hybrid inheritance. In the single inheritance, subclass inherit the feature of one superclass. In that example, you can see that A is mainly serves the base class for derived class B. It is a subclass and it is a superclass. So it is an example or a program of single inheritance. Next we can see multi-level inheritance. In that multi-level inheritance, it is mainly derived class within the inheriting of base classes, as well as the derived classes also act as a base class to another class. So in that class, we can see that base class will be A, intermediary class will be B, and derived class is C. It is called as a multi-level inheritance because there will be more than 2 classes are presented. Only single inheritance, there will be present only 2 classes, base class and derived class, or a subclass or a superclass. But in multi-level inheritance, there will be more than 2 classes are presented here. First will be base class, after that immediate class, because that why it is called as an immediate class, because that class B is mainly presented between the class A and class C, also called as it is mainly presented in the between of base class and derived class. So that C class is mainly called as a derived class. It is also the example of multi-level inheritance. Next we can see the hierarchical inheritance. In that hierarchical inheritance, one class is served as a superclass, means that base class for more than one subclass. You can see more than one subclass. B, C, and D. So we can see here class A is serves the base classes for derived class B, C, and C. Class A is the subclass and B, C, D are super classes. So in that example, we can see there will be declared class student and some variables are declared like as a student ID, name, address. So in that student function or constructor, it's mainly printed as a default constructor. Will be initialize that value. After that parameterized constructor is invoked here, there will be 3 parameters are passes, integer and means that variable, string and student name details. There will be class medical student extend the class student. There will be string SPN, means that string special, and that college name, and write the default constructor here also. After that, there will be parameterized constructor are presented here. So there will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parameters are passing here. So after that, there will be direct display function is writing here, and again extend the class student. So in that, what is that actual output? Engineering student details. Student ID will be 10, their student name will be Rana, address will be Nashik, their branch will be CSE, and college student college will be IIT Bombay. After that, second student details are printed here, and there will be printing medical student details, and all things are presented. Next, we can see fourth one is multiple inheritance, means through the interfaces. In that multiple inheritance, one class have more than one super classes and inherit the features of all parent classes. Means in means here that Java does not support the multiple inheritance with the classes. But in that Java, we can achieve the multiple inheritance only through the interfaces. So that multiple inheritance in that Java does not directly support it. One class cannot be extended more than one class at a same time. So it is mainly achieve the multiple inheritance. We need to use some interfaces. So using we can obtain the multiple inheritance for which class have to extend the one class can be, or it can be implemented one or more inter one or more interfaces. We can, so it is mainly the diagram of hybrid inheritance. Hybrid means each one are subclass, and each class is also the super class. So there will be some important rules regarding the inheritance. In that Java programming, one derived class can be extends only one base class, because that Java programming does not support the multiple inheritance through the concept of classes. But it can be supported through the concept of interfaces. Next, we can see where we can develop any inheritance application. First, we want to create an object of a bottom top derived class, but not a topmost of base class. So we can also create an object like of bottom most derived class. First, we have a memory space for the data members of the topmost of base class, and then we get the memory space for the data member of bottommost derived classes. If do not want to give any features like as a base class to derived class, it is mainly definition of that base class must be preceded by the final. Means that final base class has a reusable or not a mainly inheritable. Where do not want to give any sum of the features in that base class to derived class. So in that, such a features of base class must have a private. Hence, that private features of base classes are not inherited any accessible in the derived classes. So that data members and methods of a base class can be inherited into the derived class, but that constructors of base class cannot be inherited, because every constructor of class is made for initializing its own data member. That does but not have made for initializing the data member for the class. means that object of base class can be contain the details about the features of same class, but an object of base class is never contain details about a special features of derived classes. It is also called as a scope of base class object. For each and every class in that Java, it is mainly exist an implicit predefined superclass. It is called as java.lang.object because it is mainly provide the garbage collection facilities. So it's a subclass for collecting unused memory space and improve the performance for Java application. Next, we can see the interfaces in Java. Like a class, an interface can have a method and variables, but the method is declaring interfaces are default abstract, means only method signature, no body. That interfaces is mainly specify what class means it must do, not how, means it is an actually blueprint of class. So in that interface can about the capabilities like a player, maybe an interface of any class implementing the player must be able, or it must be implemented to move. Move is a method. So it is mainly specifies the set of methods that the class is mainly implemented here. If that class is mainly implements an interface, means it does not provide any method to a body. For the all function is mainly specified in that interfaces, then that class should be declared as an abstract way. So we can declare interfaces using the interface keyword. It is used to provide the total abstraction. That means the all method in that interfaces are declared within the empty body are public and all field are public static and final is then mainly default. So here will be syntax interface and interface name. For example, interface player final integer id will be 10 and integer move. So you can see here that class is mainly implements the interfaces must be implements all the methods declared in the interface. To implement the interface using the implement keyword. So we can see interface vehicle is mainly declared as a class. Such a void methods are declaring here as per their requirement parameters are passing, and class bicycle is mainly implements the class vehicle. So in that program, we can see how to implement the interfaces. After that, super keyword. So that super keyword in that Java is mainly refers the variable that is used to refer a parent class object. That means that keyword of super can be come into the picture, like concept of as an interfaces. This majorly used as an following content. First, we can see the use of super with variables. In there, we can see the derived class and base class has a same data members. But in the case, there will be such a kind of possibilities to coming such ambiguities here. We can understand this more clearing here. So that class car is mainly extends the class vehicle. So in that class, it mainly extends that vehicle class. So there will be two classes are presented, and after that, class test. In that class test will be mainly used to performing. First, there will be creating car object as a small and display function is mainly displaying the message here. That message will be maximum speed plus super dot max speed. That speed will be mainly the super max speed will be 180. Maximum speed will be 120 is presented. The use of super with methods. So that super keyword is mainly used in that method. So this is used when they call the parent class method. So whatever a parent and child class have the same name method, they there will be resolve the ambiguity when we using the super keyword. So we can see in that program. So today we can stop here. Next we can see in next lecture. Thank you.